If you're a race driver and things are not going to plan, then this is the episode for you. Hi everyone, this is Enzo coming to you from Bournemouth, UK with the Race Driver Coach Show. We're now on Season 3, Episode 11. And Episode 11 is pretty much marks the halfway point for the Race Driver Coach season. Around about, I don't know how many episodes we're going to do, but it's around about there. And that's the same for a lot of the race drivers out there right now. A lot of you are about halfway through your seasons. And something interesting happens there. When we're halfway through, if you just take a look around, you've got drivers that are stressed, depressed, under pressure, full of anxiety, worried, panicking, because things have not worked out like they thought they would. They start the beginning of the season with a brand new helmet, brand helmet design, brand new race gear, brand new car, brand new team, brand new championship maybe. And it's all like one big piece of paper, a blank piece of paper ready for them just to write their future upon it. It feels like it's the start of a new year when you start a championship. You're full of optimism. You're saying, this time I'm going to make it work. Things are different now. Let's go for it. But then you get a few races in. Doesn't quite go to plan. And a few more. You reach the midpoint and you're in turmoil. You find out that maybe this isn't any different to last year. Maybe I haven't improved, or there's politics, or there's bad luck, or there's mechanical issues. You will find over and over again that your race seasons don't work out as you planned. It's life, it's normal. But there's one thing. What I want to talk to you about today is it's not too late. Even though you're mid-season, even though you made these screw-ups, or things have happened to you, or the politics in the team isn't very well, you can always turn things around. Every single moment is another chance to turn things around. There's always a reset button there ready for you to press it and have the same mentality and viewpoint of this is going to work out and I'm going to make sure it works out from now on as you did at the beginning of the season. Because really, that's the chance you've got. You can either lie down and allow the start of the season to beat you and you carry that through all the way through the season and not improve, or you stand up and you say, I'm going to make this difference. I'm going to make a change here, a shift. Something's going to change and I'm going to be the person who does it. What's more refreshing for you to do? What's going to give you more chance of turning things around and having a successful end of the year? Because it's just like any other movie, right? Any movie. You get the beginning. You start with the plots, you fall in love with the character and it goes up all nice and they're doing really well, but then they hit a challenge about halfway through the movie that brings them down, that stops them in their tracks. It gives them something they've got to find answers for. Takes a step back. No longer is this champion the champion, or they've come up against someone, an opponent that is bigger and stronger than them, or their business has gone down. Whatever the challenge is, you see it over and over again. But then what happens? The main character, the lead actor, picks themselves up. They forge themselves forward, and then they reach the victory scene at the end of the film, and then it finishes and everyone's happy. That's the general Hollywood pattern, isn't it? It goes up, down, and then really up at the end, and then amazing. Everyone leaves the theatre happy. This may be Hollywood, but this is also the kind of pattern that you can have through your own season. And I want to help you give that. So just like 4 or 5 tips I'm going to give you here to turn things around, because there's no point in you being beaten when you're spending all this money. Because you've got to feel good. You've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to have the right outlook if you're going to stand a chance of turning this around, right? That's definitely what you need to do. So first off, my first tip is we need to deal with the past. Now, when I say deal with the past, I mean the past that's just happened, the start of the season. I want you to deal with that. And you deal with it by not carrying it forward anymore. You make a commitment that all this baggage that you've collected over the season, all the things that have happened, the memories, the failures, the embarrassments, the fallouts, you quash them because they are heavy. If you're carrying them around in your mind and you're only driving to prove someone right or wrong, or to prove something that's distracting you and making you overdrive, underdrive, and just get out of your zone, then we've got to leave it behind. The best way you can do that is to take a look at that past, what's just happened, and see what you can learn from it. Really embody it and say, you know what? This is happening for a reason. All this stuff that just happened is happening for a reason. It's to make me stronger. Now, if I wanted it to make me stronger, no matter how disgusting and distasteful this is, what could I learn from it? What things could I take that have actually added to my character and made me stronger? I'm doing this in the attempt for you to see the past as a gift. No matter what has happened, you can take from it and turn it into a positive and say, you know what, I'm glad it happened. I can't really see why it's going to serve me right now, but I know in the future I'm going to look back and say, I got through it. That's taught me that I'm resilient. I learned this lesson. I learned who I can't trust anymore and the type of people I can't trust. There's always benefits from your past, no matter how dark they are. I want you to look back and take them now. Because as soon as you start to do that, your mind will look on your past a little bit brighter. It will feel lighter. That's what we want to get. Because if we're making you light for the rest of your show, your movie or your season, we've got to make it light. We've got to make it bright. Thank God that person did that to me. Thank God they took me out, because now I know I can come back. Now I've actually got a new chassis, so it's better. Whatever that thing is, you can turn into a positive. So deal with the past that way. If you can't change it, if you can't change the past, you can change what it means to you. And if you change the meaning, you change the feeling, and you feel better about it, and you can move on. Got it? Number 2, what are you no longer going to settle for? This is inside and outside of yourself. What are the behaviors that you had in the past, still the past kinda, that you're not going to settle for anymore? Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe, putting things off. Maybe you're allowing people to override you and you haven't got much confidence. And you're not going to settle for that anymore. You're going to stand up, be counted, and be more confident. Make a list. Make a list of your behaviors over the season that you're thinking, you know what? I can't be like that anymore. I can't be stressed. I've got to be focused. And if you start to make a list of the things that you are no longer going to settle for that are within you right now, you'll start to understand that the person you were in the past may have created or helped create some of the crap you went through. This is all still about dealing with the past, but it's slightly different. Also, what are you no longer going to settle for that's external, that's away from yourself? Is it someone in the team that's toxic? Someone in your personal team that's toxic? Is the car not fast enough and you're not going to settle for that anymore? Things have got to change. If you're going to change them, you've got to look and say, you know what? I'm no longer going to settle for this, this, and this. Things are going to change there, and they're going to help us for the future. So not only am I going to look at the past and bring all the positives, I'm going to go into the past and say, you know, these are negatives. They must go, or they must be improved. And you make another list. That's 2 things. Changing the way you see it, taking from your past, and also spotting the things that must change if you're going to succeed in the end. I keep if you're watching this on video, this is the past and this is the end of the movie, the end of your season. Just bear with me if you can see that, but basically I'm just painting the picture of a timeline. Number 3, what is it you want? Very obvious question. But if we're bang in the middle now of your season, or around about the middle, and you look to the future, the end of the movie, what is it that you want? A goal, a mini North Star, something you're going to shoot for that's big. Maybe it is winning that title. Maybe it is getting into the top 10 finally, or the top 5. Maybe it is getting that sponsor. But if you're to start your year now, you take from everything you've done already and you start your year now and you're looking ahead, where are you going to direct the mind? Because you've got to direct the mind to that and be focused on it and visualize it every day if you're going to embody it and start to take the right actions and treat yourself in a way that actually will allow you to achieve that. So you've got to know what you want from now on. No more thinking about how rubbish this situation is here. It's more focused on what you want, and constantly, every single morning, and night, but morning at least, tell the brain what it is you want to achieve. And then make your list of things you're going to do to attain that. And you do it. Number 4, who can do this? So you know the past. You know where you are now. You know what you want in the future. But from now to the future, who's the kind of person that could pull this off, who could actually achieve that goal that you have in mind? Because that's the person you've got to be. If you do think, I've got to be more confident, I've got to sell myself more, I've got to get my message across, I've got to learn engineering more so I can feed back to the engineer better. Who is that person? You must become the person who can attract that goal rather than chase it, that deserves that goal. If you're not acting a certain way that fits, that's congruent with that goal, then it's not going to happen. However, if you're acting a certain way that is the type of person that will create the past, that's just going to recreate itself. You don't want to do that. You're now sparking up, looking up to a new future, a bright goal, but you've got to be the kind of warrior, the kind of person who can actually achieve it. What are the 2, 3, 4 things up here, the mental state or the character or the work ethic that you need in order to do it? And just be really clear on it. Now, can you imagine the 2 destinies, the way they're going to go right now? If you carry on the way you were over the last 5 months, what do you think your racing is going to look like in 2 years' time? What do you think it's going to look like in 5 years' time if you carry on in that horrible state, in that horrible place, making the same mistakes, having the same bad luck? How's the racing going to look? And then on the flip side, if you do go for this goal and you become the kind of person that can do this, you improve your skills that you need to get that goal, what do you think your racing can look like in 2 years then if you go that way and you stay dedicated to it? What do you think it'll look like in 5 years? These kind of destinies are not just made up in the head. You're already on the path of the first one that you said. If you stay swimming in what you're in right now, what it's going to look like in 2 and 5 years, you're already on that path. Congratulations, you're creating that future, that dark future that you don't want. But you can so easily create a different destiny and go a different path by saying, this moment forward, this very moment, I am no longer going to settle for what I've done in the past, what other people have done in the past. This is my reset. I'm going to recalibrate my mental compass for what I want. I'm going to become the person who can do that, and it's going to be fresh. I'm going to surround myself with the right kind of people. I'm going to work harder than ever, and everything's going to be pointed towards that goal. That's the kind of energy you need, and you can feel it from the inside, right? It's the only chance you've got. There's only one person in this entire world that can pull this off, and that's you. You might not even be a race driver. You might be an entrepreneur trying to set up a business. This is the same for anything that a human applies to. Are we going to swim in the past and the present situation we're in, or are we just going to pick our head up out of the dirt, look up to the cloud and say, you know what? I'm going to go for that. And I know what I've got to do it. And every single day, I'm going to do what that kind of person would do. Before you know it, the goal's delivered. Or at least you find out the truth on the way. What more could you ask? Live your movie. No matter what's happened for the rest of this season, for the start of this season, you always know and you always believe that you can always turn it around. If you're watching this at the end of the season, fine, we're going to start the year the same way. But just stay clear in your mind what you want, the kind of person you need to be, and you stay true to that person. And I promise, things will work out. Even if you're not made for racing, you'll find out sooner. Okay, you got it? See you next time.